one of the main things to deal with material suffering, if I get, by having more and more, will that make the material suffering to become less? No. I remember one day I was at lunch in Milan, in a very nice restaurant, because it's a restaurant where, very traditional restaurant where all kinds of people go. So I was with some friends, and two of them, one was the actual owner of the restaurant, and then they worked together with his brother and so on, which is making investments here and there. And then on the table next, there were some people that always go to that restaurant for lunch, which are construction workers, and all types of people have lunch there together. Very traditional lunch place. And then my friend and his brother, they were very upset that day because it was in the beginning of the crisis in Europe, and they had lost a lot of money in the stock market, whatever, and here and there it was a difficult moment, and so on. And they were complaining about it, and they were sad. And then after some point, they were talking. There was this guy on the next table, and he was a construction worker. Very simple man, very nice. He always go to eat there, so they know each other since a long time. So he just looked at it and said, "That's the good thing of not having anything. I don't have this type of suffering, you know. This is a problem I don't need to go through." What I want to say is that there is a saying in Tibetan which is "Mila gyugo gyula dakpo go," which means people need things, things need owners. The more I have, the more time, the more space I need to give to take care of these things. The more the things I have consume my life. So one very simple rule. The things that we have should be there to serve us and not us to serve them. So there is a rule which I try to apply the best as I can in my life, which is, if I see that I have something, and this thing that I have has no function in the present, no reason for me to keep it for the future, no benefit for myself and others having it, or I give, or I sell, or I throw. Because keeping things that we don't need, that have no function whatsoever, is just accumulating and taking away our life, taking away the space and our time and our energy and our space in our mind and so on, because we need to take care of them. Okay? So to deal with material suffering, one thing that we understand is, first of all, that actually we cannot eliminate material suffering by simply having more. This doesn't work. But there is a very simple thing that we can do, which is making a clear distinction between what I need and what I want. Normally, we suffer more materially because we don't have what we need or because we don't have what we want. Mostly it's because we don't have what we want. So if we just make a thing that, okay, what I want is just an extra. If it's possible, nice. If it's not possible, okay also, no problem. And what I need to take care of that. I learned a lot of this in the monastery because I would go to my teacher, which was like a father there. He would take care of me. Whenever I would say, "Oh, Genla," which was the way of calling him, and "So, Genla, I want this," and he would look to me and he said, "You want it?" I said, "Yes, and so what?" I want. What does that mean? You know, it doesn't mean anything. I want. Then I learned after some time, because if I went to him and I said, "Genla, I need," "Oh yes, let's do it." And then one day he taught me, I was restructuring a little bit the house where I was living. And one day he told me, he said, because fix one thing here, then need to fix something else there, make it a little better here, a little better then. The first things were a little bit critical, then afterwards just extra somehow. And then he told me one day, he said, "Look, anything that you really feel you need to do, I will help you. If you want to do anything here in the house, and you really think it is important for you, you really need it, I will help you. But remember one thing, desire has no end. The more you have, the more you want. The more you want, the less you have." And I looked at it and said, wow, that's true. So what I did at that time was I didn't finish some parts in the house to remember me that it's never going to finish. So there were some things there in the construction that were start but they didn't finish on purpose in a way to remember me that it doesn't matter how much I do, there will always be more to do, because the more I have, the more I want, the less I have, so it's going on and on and on like this. So how to make our own material suffering less? What I need, I will do everything for it. What I want, I don't need necessarily to fulfill it. Not becoming slaves of our wants, but taking care of our needs. Okay?